So today we're kind of in an interesting place. We are at a cemetery in the middle of Los Angeles where there's kind of a lot of like famous people buried. Like take for instance, Michael Jackson is in this mausoleum over here.
It's really interesting to see how many people are still bringing things. Like there were a lot of Happy Halloween type stuff and a lot of stuff from people, you know, from other countries and things like that. And it's just interesting to see that, like outside of the, because he's inside of the mausoleum.
Right.
But yeah, this is
it's pretty interesting.
It is very interesting. I didn't think that it was such a public place either.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And it's also very large. Here's where we're looking over here is where Michael Jackson is buried. And then we turn, and this is all a giant mausoleum where you can get, where you can be buried if you have enough money. And then these are all different gravestones. You can see like what look like dashes. Those are the headstones.
Yeah, that was the other thing that I thought was kind of different, is I thought they'd be tall headstones.
Yeah.
But they're just kind of the little placards on the ground.
Right.
And then I wonder whose grave is that?
I don't know.
But it's just, it's
yeah.
It's very different in Florida.
It's also real interesting because like it goes like up that hill all over through there.
Oh, I didn't realize that it went that far.
Yeah, it's really big. So we weren't allowed to film in this, but we just saw Elizabeth Taylor's memorial, like where Elizabeth Taylor is buried. We're heading up to the Freedom Mausoleum. We're not going into the Freedom Mausoleum, just outside of it. This is what we came to see. This is the gravesite of Walt Disney. It's actually really nice. Like a couple of magnolia trees, some gardenias. People leave money and flowers and stuff like that for him. And then up on top here, the people have left a couple of little pins and toys. There's an elephant toy up there. There's a Mickey pin, and you can see a rose. Also, Lillian is buried here, and Sharon is buried here. So just on the other side of this wall is where Walt Disney is buried. And then here, I can't tell if this is where George Washington is buried. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure this is just like a monument to George Washington. They said that this is the best statuary likeness ever made of George Washington. And then there's this giant chain here, which is called the Liberty Chain, which was a chain that stretched across the Hudson River in 1776 so that ships couldn't get across. That's amazing. We're just passing by the hospital where Walt died. Here we are to our main destination, Walt Disney Studios. That's amazing.
Yeah.
This is Legend Ward. This is the word that they get.
Too many fingers. We found Kurt Russell's handprints. So this is the Legends Courtyard.
All the same size hands.
Yeah.
Man hands, Jerry.
And these are all legends. These are all legends. Like here's Steve Martin, Art Linkletter.
Oh, Sherman Brothers.
Robert Sherman, Richard Sherman. Yeah. It's pretty neat. You guys may recognize this statue from Walt Disney World. This is Roy and Minnie, and at Walt Disney World you can sit down and take a picture with them. You can here too, but there's a lot of interesting things here. And this is the only partner statue in the world that you can walk up and touch. So this is where we're headed. We can't film up in there, but we're heading up to Walt's office, and this is the Sherman Brothers office. So we just got out of the animation building.
Wow.
We just got done with Walt's office, and it was amazing. You could see the water tower back in the distance right there. And this is the theater where Fantasia premiered. This is actual workplace where people are working. There's a health fair going on right now.
They're having a really good time out there.
Yeah, I know. They're playing ping pong right here.
I want to work here.
This is what used to be the studio mill back when Walt was running it, where they would do all the woodworking. And now there's nothing there. They just recreated the door. That's what it used to look like. We are right underneath the Walt Disney Studios water tower right now. And we just came off of the Walt Disney Studios lot where the different sound stages are. Pretty neat. They're filming a lot of stuff back there. Like I think stage 3 has Blackish in it right now. Just passing by the ink and paint department. So sorry that this section of video where we were at the Disney Studios kind of came to an abrupt stop. Unfortunately, we weren't allowed to film in any of the buildings, but man, I really wish that we could have taken you guys along and showed you guys what we got to see. We got to see Walt's secretary desk, which actually had a date book in it where you could see some of the appointments that Walt had. And then we got to go into Walt's formal office, which is where he entertained dignitaries. And they also had a piano in there that Walt would ask the Sherman Brothers to play for him. Like they would play Feed the Birds for him, which was his favorite song. And then right next door was his working office, where he would get together with the Imagineers and go over everything that was the Disney company. So it was really neat. I really do wish that we could have brought you guys along for it, but unfortunately that was just not possible. But now we continue along our Walt theme and we're headed over to a restaurant that Walt and the Imagineers used to frequent. Check this out. So for lunch we're going to the Tam-O-Shanter, and this is where Walt would come with some of his 9 old men and talk about plans for Disneyland. Outside of this building definitely looks like something out of Fantasyland, for sure. Here's a picture of Walt, the founder of the Tam-O-Shan, whose name is Lawrence Frank, and the designer named Harry Oliver. This was a favorite spot of Walt. Yes.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
Can you see that?
Do you want to put like my light on it? Do you think that would
Maybe,
be better
yeah.
to see, or?
Yeah.
Oh, my light turned off.
This is some of the Imagineers like drew on the table. It's a dinosaur, yeah. So this is like the dinosaur from the diorama
Oh my gosh.
on the Disneyland Railroad.
This is insane.
What does it say right there, I wonder? It's hard to see.
It's hard to see. It looks like it says Walt. Oh yeah, what's over there?
Oh, the Stegosaurus. That's really cool.
Man.
Here too. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, no, it just looks like marks almost.
Yeah, over there.
Oh my goodness.
There is some
Argyle.
writing there. What? Like
Look at this. You can see this is like an Argyle print from It's a Small World, and you can see here some of the characters.
Oh my God.
And then here it says It's a Small World,
Well, it says
February 14th.
IASW.
Yeah, February 14th is
holy moly.
What does that say?
OBIG.
OBIG. Here's the little picture that they have above it. So the most interesting thing about this is that, so there was the It's a Small World thing in that back corner. There's the Stegosaurus here, and there's the T-Rex here, and those were all things that were at the World's Fair. So that means that Walt was here with his Imagineers planning out the World's Fair. So this is it. This is just Walt's corner booth. There's another little carving right over here that says contact Carlos about tomorrow, like quote unquote tomorrow. And then we've got 5/16/64, it says 0L1N. And then we notice that the It's a Small World one over here has the same sort of thing that says 0B1G. So I don't know what these 4-letter codes mean, but it's pretty interesting. Sorry, this one's real hard to see, but if you look very carefully, you can see it says Primeval World Meeting, and it gives a date 4/22, I think is what it says, and then it gives the code, which is 01BC or 018C. Man, so there's not like a plaque or anything on this table, but this was John Wayne's favorite table. So if anybody out there is a fan of The Office, does this room seem familiar from the last episode? Jay got the French onion soup. Everybody did except for me.
Well, Jay was nice enough not to eat his right away like I did, so thank you, Jay.
And they have free Wi-Fi here too. There's my sandwich. This is my burger. This thing looks awesome. Wow. Well, no, I was just gonna point it at you and say, so now that I have my burger, Jen has to go up to the...
I have to go up to the carving station.
That guy.
And I'm gonna order my sandwich.
Yeah.
So I'll be right back.
And then she has to go over this little tiny salad bar and put toppings on it and get coleslaw and potato salad. Wait, what kind of sandwich did you get?
Brisket.
Whoa, that looks pretty alright.
It was so good.
And then you
He
got...
let me try a bite, and it was really good. I got some potato salad, some delicious pickles, and then I don't know what this is, but it's delicious.
I think that's what they're calling coleslaw.
It's not coleslaw because there's peanuts in it, but it's so good.
This is pretty awesome. Best wishes from the Walt Disney Studios. They even put the Lowry symbol in there. And here's another one. It's pretty awesome. So there you have it. That has been our like Walt Disney centered day. A lot of like Walt Disney history. A lot of like, we went to the animation building. We went to his gravesite.
It was really, yeah. We wanted to make sure that we I don't know, kind of did more to learn more about Walt and the stuff that he did here in town.
Yeah, so it was really neat.
It was cool to kind of like sit at a table that he sat at, and visiting his grave was really an experience, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so with that being said, we are off. We will see you guys tomorrow.
And now it's time to pay the price.